Okay, I didn't like the first video I did on this, so let's try it again here. I'm going to show you a few things about this. Is Microsoft Word. This is a more recent version. If you have a different version of this, it's going to look different. It's going to be arranged differently. The functions are in there, but like depending on the version you have of the program and whether you're saving it as a docx or a doc makes a difference. Google is going to be different and all that stuff. So you're going to have to Google some things to figure them out. This lets you know what you're looking for a little bit. I'm going to click up here. That puts me in my header area, as you see it say. Tab over, that's going to center it a little bit more. Whoops. Okay, now I can do a few things with this. I'm going to make this a little bigger. So if you saw that when I first selected it, there's a few ways you can do this. This comes up here. I can bold it right there. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller right there. If you don't do it right there while it's still selected, you can go to the Home tab. You got all these same options right there. Control B. I just hit Control B. That made it bold. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here, right there. Now some other things I can do with here. I'm going to click out of here back into the regular body. But I'm going to go to Layout, Margins. I'm going to go for some custom margins here. Top, I'm going to go 0.7. Bottom, I'm going to go 0.5. Generally on the left, you want to leave about 0.7 or 8 to leave room for a 3-hole punch. I'm going to go to 0.5 because we're not 3-hole punching. Give me a little bit more room on the paper. I'm also going to go here and move my header and footer up a little bit and down a little bit so that they're not pushing those other margins I mentioned away. Okay, you saw that move. I don't like the way that's centered. I'm going to adjust my center here a little bit. That looks a little bit better to me. Come back down here. Now there's two ways to do this. I'm going to show you the way that's going to frustrate you at first, and then what you need to do to put some things together. You can combine them if you want. You end up having to use these drawing canvases. I don't like them. It's something on the DOCs you didn't have to, on the DOCXs you have to. Oh well, life goes on. Okay, so period 5, I didn't do enough of this with you. Okay, let's go to Insert. I forgot to mention that we can change shapes in here. Now I missed, we have some circles and some cylinders. There's some cylinders and some prisms we can use. So, whoops, I clicked off a bit too soon. Let's get the cylinder. You get it like that. I change this all the time. Let's make it black. Fill, we don't want any fill. I'm going to make it empty. It looks a little better like that. This, you're just moving up and down a little bit there to change the look of it. This doesn't have the hidden line on the back. I do like the hidden line, but we don't. It's not required on this. If you want to change the thickness of the lines, you can come in here. That would be the weight. You can see as I go over it, it changes a little bit. I like the one that we had up there before, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. Okay, and so there's a shape. I could also on this set it as default shape. That doesn't seem to. It comes up again if I use it on this diagram. It doesn't carry it through from day to day. It drives me nuts. Okay, here I could have also done insert. I could have done it from that other shape. And you can see, oh, it kept it for that. So it keeps it for this here. There's our little yellow thing. You can see how that adjusts the look of that right there. And you can change how things look. You can change it like this a little bit. Most of your prisms for your mouths are going to be more like this. And you can see how that works like there. Okay, so let's get that to the side and get drawing. Okay, I still have this shape format drawing menu up here because I've got this selected. If I go off that, that'll go away. I can always go to insert in my shape. I'm going to go here and pick my little line here. Okay, that should be highlighted. Now I'm going to put it right here. These are for my dimensions on there. It should not touch the shape. It should not touch the shape. I come on over to the side. I want to get this perfectly horizontal because if I do, it causes, that's both good and bad. It's not horizontal. It's not horizontal. That might be, I'm not sure. Make it black. There's no fill. I want it a little thicker than that. Let's go to weight. Let's go to 1 point, get it a little bit thicker than that. That might be a little longer than we need, so let's make it a little shorter. Okay. Now I could do this again down here, but while I got the select, I'm going to Control C, that's copy, or I can right click and copy. Oops, it went off again. I got to be on it right click and copy, but I just did the Control C. Paste it down there. I get another one exactly like it. I can carry it down here, get it set up. I can use my arrows for fine adjustments and get it lined up like that other one. Now, insert, draw. You can use lines or you can use arrows. I like arrows. I'm going to use a line here first. So, you can come in here and this one doesn't matter where to start it. And I can just draw that down there. And again, I want something perfectly vertical. I get in there black. Let's go to that weight 1. I'm going to set that as my default shape, my default line, so it comes back again. Again, I could do that again. I can Control C that. Control V is paste. Bring it down here. Line it up. Okay, I'm noticing that doesn't leave me a lot of room for any numbers in there, so I'm going to shorten this one. I'm going to shorten this one just a touch. Now, I could have used these little arrows here too and drawn them. They're weird. After I do that, that one looks pretty vertical. I tried to adjust it. It doesn't want to, it won't let me go back into that exact same spot. So a lot of times the arrows frustrate me, so I don't use them all the time. But you can come in here and I can put little arrows on this, so I right click, format shape. You get this lovely part over here, line they're talking about down here, big arrow, begin type and end type. Oops, it's the wrong side, so let's go back to the regular one. The begin type, I need it on the other end. There we go. I can put the little, I can leave them into little lines like that, or I can make them into little arrows. End type. I like the arrows because it shows the direction I'm going. Okay. Now here is the problem. I want to select stuff. We have a real nice property we can use called group. Okay. Group it might work on this, it might not. It's not going to work on every part. So I got to go to select, home. Got to be on home. Select. Select. Select objects. I'm just going to want to copy this part right here. And notice it copied these two parts. It didn't copy these. That's because they're perfectly vertical lines. If I change this, I make it a little sloppier, and I go to select those again. You know, let me take it off first. I go to select those again, select, and I group them. It collects it. It didn't, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But that also tells me that these lines aren't perfectly even. That's got to be it there. That's got to be it there. Let me try selecting these again. That's not what I want to do. Select. Didn't pick them up. Shoot. Well, it won't always pick those up. That's a major problem, especially if you want them looking good. I can't get this. I don't know why this keeps tell those aren't parallel. I got a pretty good eye for that. That's still picking them up. It's not picking those up. It won't pick them up all the time. But you can use what is called a, it's in shapes here, drawing canvas. New drawing canvas. I put my drawing canvas on. First, notice it blocks stuff off. Okay, you know what? I want to format the shape. Even though it's selected, it's not picked over here for some reason. Format drawing canvas. Fill. Ooh, I see what it is. Fill. I need to open up fill here. I don't want any fill. Oh, now you know what fill does a little bit more. Solid fill blocks it off. Gradient fill makes it shaded. But that's it right there. We want this drawing canvas. Now, I can take this out and move it in. I'm going to move it in. Now remember, it wouldn't let me select those arrows. I could select these other things, but I'm just going to pause this. Okay, so now I got it inside the drawing canvas. Now in here, I can select things. I got my selection arrow up on top. I put it there myself. Yours might not be there. Notice it selects everything down there. Now I can group this together. Now it's going to act as a group. I can shrink this, put it back. I can make it wider. I can do all sorts of adjustments to that. So instead of having to redraw everything on this, I can put some of this stuff over here. So let me show you that. I'm going to Control-C and copy this. Okay, I paused this for a second, made a drawing canvas for this. So I've copied this right here. Now I can come over to my other drawing canvas. I can paste this in there. You know what? That's a little too tall. I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to move it over. And oh, pretty cool. I got one for that side now. I can do that. The one for this side is going to be a little bit harder to do. So you can do this for the bottom, copy it over to the other one. Now you need to put these numbers. I didn't do a good job of lining these up. Let me see. I'm going to select that one. I can just move that one. These work really nicely. I could just select one of those. It's how you can see how it not selected, not selected. I got the arrow selected. I arrow it over a couple of times. It lines up a little better. Now I need to get some numbers in here, and I need to do this quick. Insert. Let's open up that. Insert. About an insert. Insert. Text box. So they do like this. I'm just going to put in here. I'm going to put in my number 13. I'm going to format this right while it's out here. I click out. We don't want that little line. Right click. No fill. We've seen fill. I want. It says no line. Something's not right there. Let me put my number in there. Control-Z. That's showing text for some reason. I need to be selected on the shape. It's not letting me format the shape. That's better. That was weird. It was just formatting the number. No fill. I don't want it to block stuff off. No line. I don't want that line on the outside. Come here. Resize shape to fit text. I want it to do that. I don't want it to wrap it in there. Now, I can cut this. There's your cut. You can also use Control-V. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to paste this. And I just pull it over there. Voila. There's my number in there. I can use that same thing. I can take one of those out. You know what? I'm going to just paste another one in there. And I'm almost out of time here. Okay, so I got that one in there. See, I put the name in here. I'm out of time. This stops at 15 minutes. We're pretty much there. I hope this helps. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a second video or not.